Welcome to English 1 with Miss Salah. Thank you for joining Lyons Township High School for our digital open house today. So I have been teaching at Lyons Township High School for 7 years. This is my 7th year teaching the English 1 prep course. In 2013, I graduated from UIC with a bachelor's in the teaching of English. In 2018, I graduated from UIC with a master's in special education. My preferred email is zsalah@lths.net, and I do hope that you feel free to reach out to me with any questions, comments, or concerns, especially in regards to your child's education. In my classroom, I welcome everybody. Students from all sorts of backgrounds and all walks of life are welcome and affirmed in my classroom. Joking about any of those things is not tolerated in the classroom. Those students are well aware of this from the beginning of the school year. My classroom philosophy is that it should feel almost like a family, and the classroom environment should be one that is positive, where everybody feels safe. In order to learn, students do need a couple of things from me. The first thing that they need is respect and emotional safety, which is why I do make it such a point to feel like every student in my classroom is told that they're welcome and they feel affirmed. It is important for my students to understand respect and emotional safety for themselves and for others, and for them to develop that sense of safety for each other as a class. In terms of volume, I feel like it's really important for students to do more of the thing that they need to get better at. In order to play basketball better, you practice more. To read better, you practice more. And to write better, you practice more. Those two things go hand in hand in this class in terms of reading and writing. I also feel like students really need time to develop their skills, to actually master a skill that we're working on. So in this class, I do try to work on a lot of practice before we do something that gets graded. A lot of students in the past have expressed frustration when they are given any kind of assignment that they don't get to practice really, and it's a skill that is new to them that tends to hinder their ability to do well. I also feel like that relationship between reading and writing and looking at it as a reciprocal process is really important for students to understand in English. You can be a really great reader, but if you don't apply those skills in writing, some of your writing won't come out as strong. And so in my classroom, we try to view these as skills that have to go together so they can both be strong. I also feel like students need engagement in order to learn, and they need to understand what engagement means. Engagement isn't just raising your hand when you know an answer. It is more about your ability to look at what you're learning and see why it's relevant. Engagement is getting involved in the lesson in any way that you can, and not being afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes are how we learn. So in my classroom, I have a very strict philosophy, and I do understand that English is not your child's only class, and so I try to respect your child by monitoring the amount of homework and classwork that we do. With the 75 minutes that we have in a digital platform, I do try to ensure that our students have the opportunity to work on those skills during that 75-minute period. I do feel as though students will have more outside of class work with the digital format, only because they need that additional time to practice that maybe they wouldn't get in consecutive days at school. I also understand that your child has interests outside of school and commitments outside of school. So I do try to encourage your student to talk about those things in class and to weave their interests into their writing and into the reading. I also understand that your child is your pride and joy, and I will treat them with care. I don't have children myself, but my nieces and nephews are between elementary and high school age, and so I always try to think about, what do I want my family to experience when they're in a classroom? How do I want my niece to be treated by her teacher? What kind of patience do I expect from a teacher for my nephew? And so I try to make sure that the things that I would want for my family, I give to your children. I also understand that your child may not like reading or writing. I try to keep lessons interesting, and I try to make our reading and writing engaging, or at least explain to them the why, because even if we're writing an analytical essay that might not be the most exciting, it is really important to me that your student understands the purpose of what we're doing. And a lot of times when students understand the purpose of an assignment, they're a lot more willing to give it a try. In English 1 Prep, we do independent reading all year. We will have, by the time you've seen this, had a visit with the librarian in order to look at the digital library this year. Students usually get through about 10 to 30 books a year for students that do diligently pick up a book and read it cover to cover and then pick up a book after. We will be reading Romeo and Juliet, The Odyssey, The Glass Castle, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, and a lot of poems, articles, and other supplementary texts to help support some of the themes and ideas in the text that we are going to be reading as required reading. Grades will always be updated through Infinite Campus. Infinite Campus is a system where we keep our grades together. In this class, we have two sets of grades, formative and summative. Formative grades are grades that are based on practice and do not influence your child's overall score. A summative score is something like an essay, a test that does look at a collective piece of information, and it does impact your child's score. Anything that's marked as missing will automatically calculate as a 0 or the lowest grade in the gradebook. And every Friday, missing work emails are automated through Infinite Campus, which means as a parent, you will be notified every Friday if your child is missing an assignment. The syllabus can be located on the Canvas website. Any handouts, worksheets, or assignments I give the students, in this case they'll all be digital, will also be located on Canvas. All of my information is there as well. So before we continue, I will show you an example of what the Canvas page looks like for this class. I will click Student View so you can see exactly what my students would see. And if we scroll down, there is a link to each Zoom class at the top, so your child will always know exactly which class period is theirs. My contact information is right here. And then I try to update a week at a glance for the students every week by including the class periods for each day, whether it is a gold or a blue day, and updating the date. On the left-hand side, it is the date and the class periods. In the center is where we have our plan for the day, and on the right is where any homework will be updated. The majority of items on this page will be clickable, so if your student has questions that are due, or a story that needs to be read, or they missed the PowerPoint or need to look back at it for any reason, all of those things are uploaded on Canvas and are clickable. Anything else that your students may need will be located on the left-hand side. Assignments, which is where they will see all of the things that are due in terms of due date, overdue assignments, undated assignments, and past assignments. The syllabus is also located here. In order to access the syllabus, all you have to do is click this link and it will load the syllabus for you. So one of the things in this class that I did want to make sure I covered is our revision policy. Because I do so much formative work with students, I do want to make sure that when they do get to a summative assignment, and it is something that counts, they have the opportunity to go back and work on any skills that they've missed. So if a student submits a summative, let's say an essay, and is not happy with the score on the essay, we can always go back to the essay and revise it together. Revisions usually require a conference in order for me to give that student some one-on-one feedback about what needs to be improved beyond just the markings that every student will receive as feedback. In order for a student to be able to revise, all of the formative work does need to be turned in. In order to look back at an essay and say, these are the skills that you missed and this is what you should work on, it is really important that the student has turned in all of the practice work in order to form those skills. Any request should come 48 hours in advance if it's possible, but I am totally understanding that sometimes things just come up and sometimes it is difficult to reach out to a teacher right away. And so I do try to be forgiving with these experiences in order to help students build that ability to advocate for themselves when they need something like an extension. If there are any questions, please feel free to email me at zsalah@d204.lths.net, or you can email me just at zsalah@lths.net. It will all go to the same place. I hope that you were able to find this as an informative experience, and I hope to get in touch with you soon.